the fingers. Hey there. Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good evening, good evening. This is Dr. Nicole Mason coming on for day 3 of 31 days of building confidence. And I'm so excited to be with you for another episode, if you will, or another teaching around confidence. And as I stated, I just want to be on just for a few moments to give you a little bit so that we can kind of build up as we're going along on this journey together for 31 days. And so tonight I want to direct your attention to the book of Proverbs. We started last night in the book of Ruth. And so tonight we're going to be in the book of Proverbs. And I love the Proverbs, and I hope that you have gotten into the practice of reading a proverb every day. There are 31 Proverbs, and read one every day. Of course, it increases your wisdom and your information about life. And so I want to go to Proverbs 23, verse 7. And I'm just going to read the A portion of that. Proverbs 23, 7, the A portion of that. And I'm reading from the New King James Version tonight. And it says, "For as he thinks in his heart, so is he. As he thinks in his heart, so is he." And I wanted to talk a little bit tonight from the thought, thinking is a vibration, the vibration of thinking. And one thing that I know is that we are energy wrapped in flesh. Yeah, we are energy wrapped in flesh. And what that means is what we put out, the kind of energy that we put out is what we will draw to ourselves. And so you might think, what does this have to do with confidence? It has everything to do with confidence when you understand that you can control the kind of situations and circumstances that are drawn to you or not in your life, because we are energy wrapped in this flesh. And what do I mean by that again is, the Bible is clear in the book of Genesis that we did not become living beings until God breathed his very essence into us. And so spirit is an energy. And when you understand that when you change the way you think, you change the energy that you bring to every situation, every circumstance. And it's really important for us to understand that when we change our thinking, we can change our lives. I preached a sermon from that same title several years ago, and it is absolutely the truth. And so when we think about this particular proverb, the Proverbs are written primarily by Solomon, who was the wisest man in the world. And he talked about this particular thought that as we think about something in our hearts, so are we. And it's really important for you to understand that thinking has a vibration. And so last night when we were on, I gave homework last night. And so for those of you who were with us, and if you weren't, this was the homework. So the question was, number one, what are your primary thoughts about yourself? That's critically important. And then number two, where did those thoughts come from? Because all of us have a bank of information in our hearts, in our spirits, and we tend to draw from that bank. And I'll come back to that in just a moment. And then the last question was, what are the experiences that inform how you think? And so we have this bank of information, and all of us know this to be true. For example, whenever something comes up, and I talked about this a little bit last night, because if you are intending to do what God has called you to do, be all that God has called you to be, you're going to have to be confident enough to step into it. All of us are stepping into our next level or stepping into another realm. The Bible is clear, we go from glory to glory with God, right? Higher and higher. And so it takes confidence to do that, because when you start to move forward and move higher, not everybody is going to support you. Not everybody is going to like you. Not everybody is going to encourage you. Not everybody is going to empower you and cheer you on. And so you have to be confident enough to go it alone sometimes. You have to be confident enough to be able to think. You, hey girl, you have to be confident enough to understand and know that God is requiring you to move forward in what it is that He's called you to do, whether people are with you or not, whether they encourage you or not, whether they build you up or not. You are obligated to move forward. And so as I began to think about it, this whole series that God has encouraged me and prompted me to have for these 31 days in the month of May, which is the month of miracles, right? That's what we say at our church. It is the month of miracles. And so you want to look for the miracles, not just externally, but what about the miracles internally? What about the miracles in your heart? What about the miracles that you are looking for in your body? For some of us, we want to be more healthy, right? For some of us, we need a blessing from God. We need a healing from God. And so this is the month to begin to change how you think, to begin to change what you say. In the book of Proverbs, also, it talks about life and death is in our mouths. And so it is important for us to know that we have the power to change the vibration of our lives. Now, I want to just remind you that we are in vibration, because we know people that have low vibration and we know people that have high vibration. And so I want to ask you to really think about, what kind of vibration are you? People who have low vibration are people who like drama, people who are always involved in something, people who always have something going. They're always keeping up just mess, right? They're just messy. And then you have high vibration, people who are on fire and passionate about what they've been called to do, who are movers and shakers, who are making things happen, who know that they have purpose assigned to their lives, and not engaged and not interested. Let me just put that in there. Not interested in drama. Not interested in anything that's low vibration, anything that's negative, right? And so I want to encourage you to really think about, what kind of vibration are you? And when you really begin to think about what kind of vibration you are, I can assure you that your level of vibration is directly connected to the way that you think. And how you think expresses itself in how you show up. How you think expresses itself in how you engage with other people. How you think expresses itself in your confidence and how you advocate for yourself or not. How you speak up for yourself or not. How you teach other people to treat you or not. All of these things have everything to do with how you think about yourself and how that translates into your confidence. And so as we are going through this month together, I want to encourage you to really begin to take an inventory of you. Yep, write that in the chat, write it in your notes. I'm going to take an inventory of myself, an inventory of me. Because when you really begin to analyze and understand yourself and really understand that you have, kiss those babies for me, you have everything on the inside of you to change how situations arise, how they are going forward in your life. And we have the power to push things away from us. We have the power to draw things to us. That's the whole power of manifestation, and really calling those things that be not as though they were. All of these things that we see going on are biblical. I keep looking because I have my little sugar baby here. He's intentionally watching me and listening to his mama. And so everything that we see all around us, we have the capacity to draw those things to us and propel those things away from us. It's just like, let me give you an example. And I know those of you who are saved and on fire for God and walking with God, you can attest to this. The moment that you gave your heart to the Lord, there were people that just dropped off instantly. You didn't have to do anything. You didn't have to say anything. And if you know that to be true, put that in the chat. Yep, I know that to be true, right? But then there were some people who still, they hung on and they continue to be involved with you, continue to hang on with you. But you made a decision that you weren't going to do what you once did. Hang around with other people that you once hung around with. Go to the places that you were once going to, because you began to change your vibration and you began to change your thinking and your thought process about it. And so what happened when you changed your vibration, the other people who had the vibration of your past, there was nothing to connect to. And so I really want you to begin to think about this, because when you have a vibration that's higher, you connect with other people that have a similar vibration. And that has everything to do with your confidence and how you think about yourself. You know, when you start to vibrate higher and you find yourself in circles that you had not been in the past, it's going to take a confident mindset to not only go into the room, but stay in the room. And I would even venture to say to take a seat at the table in the room. And so when we think about this particular text in Proverbs, for as he thinks in his heart, so is he, God has given us permission to think our way out of devastation. I feel that right there. To think our way out of any negative situation. You can think yourself out of it. And this is why it's so important to feed your mind, feed your mindset. You know, whatever you focus on is going to grow. And so if you are focusing on what's positive and focusing on change and focusing on really learning new things and really understanding that there is more to life than where you find yourself, you have to think it. And this is why it's so important, because faith is really antithetical to what we're taught in the world. You know, the world says to see it first and then believe it. But faith says no, to believe it and then you see it. That has everything to do with how you think. And then confidently believing it, not just believing it, but confidently talking about it and speaking about it to other people and letting people know that you believe God and you believe God for X and you believe God for Y, and then begin to move like you already have it. That's what the power of vision board. People put up their vision board. Listen, all that stuff is biblical, you know, and you are thinking it and you're believing it, and then you have a visual of it. It's biblical. And so when we think about confidence, confidence is at the root of everything. And this is what I have come to know and believe, that confidence is the key to success. And that means success in every area of our lives. We have to be confident in it. We have to be confident to date for those who are single. You have to be confident to engage in marriage. You have to be confident to say, I do. You have to be confident to bring your children into the world and then raise them in all of the things that are going on, and be confident to tell them that you are greatness in motion, that you have all power, that you are connected to a power source that never runs dry. I had to stop myself last night. Let me pull myself back because y'all know it don't take much for me to start preaching. But I said I was just going to be on just for a few minutes each day. But I'm a lawyer and a preacher and can be very, very verbose, right? So let me pull myself back because I could feel that. You have to be confident to go into, you laughing? You have to be confident to go into your purpose. You have to be confident to show up in places that you have not gone to before and then perform, whether it's a new job, whether it's to show up in ministry, to preach, to sing, to teach, whatever. It takes confidence to do that. And I really want you to meditate on this particular scripture. For as he thinks, put she in there, it doesn't matter to me about that. But for as he thinks in his heart, so is he. And when you really begin to understand that, you can think your way out of poverty, because all you need is one idea. Hey, all you need is one idea. How many times have we seen and heard people's stories about just one idea change the course of their lives because it was a thought that came to them? And this is why it's so important for you to follow through on what God drops into your heart that's good, that can change lives, that can have an impact. I'm sweating. That can have an impact on the lives of other people. It's important for you to follow through on that idea, because you don't know where it's going to land you. You don't know where it's going to take you. So confidence has everything to do with being able to go against the grain. And usually when people are confident and they go against the grain, it usually causes other people to get nervous. It causes other people to then, point at them and then try to figure out, what's going on with them. I mean, Noah is a good example. The people up to that point had never experienced rain. They didn't know what rain was. But here's Noah saying it's going to rain. And I need to build this ark according to these specifications. Yes, according to these specifications that God was downloading to him. And, all of the people around him thought he was just gone bonkers. And it took confidence for him to, go after what God was saying, because there was an end result that had more to do with than just him. And I just want to say that tonight, that you being confident in what God has called you to do, it has more to do with others than just yourself. It has everything to do with the legacy that you are living right now and shall leave for those coming behind you. And so as I close tonight, because I said I would only be on just for a few minutes, 15 to 20 minutes each night, and I have company. Yes, I have company. And I want you to think about the questions that I gave on last night. Number one, what are your primary thoughts about yourself? 2, where did those thoughts come from? And then 3, what are the experiences that inform how you think? What are the experiences that inform how you think? And so really think about that. Really think about that. And really give that a whole lot of analysis. Give it some analysis. Let's get on here so they can see you. You get it so big. So that you can really begin to get some analysis about what you're thinking and about how it's showing up. And one of the things that I know is that God really is calling us to move out, and I said it last night, to launch into the deep. And the deep is relative. It's relative. For somebody, it just might be, to start a newsletter, right? For somebody else, launching out into the deep, maybe and be involved in some kind of partnership or something like that. So it's relative. And this is why it's so important for us not to compare ourselves to other people. I think it's a slap in God's face when we start to compare ourselves to other people because God took the time to create us just the way that he wanted to create us. And he put in us the purpose that he wanted for us to fulfill. And so, when you come to understand that you have purpose assigned to your life and you have to show up confidently, my mantra is show up great. You have to show up confidently and to do what you've been called to do. And you have to do that because other people are watching you, and people take their cues from how you treat yourself. And so I really want you to begin to think about all of these things as we are coming together this month for 31 days of building confidence, to really think about, what do you think about yourself? And where did those thoughts come from? And what are the experiences that inform how you think? All right. And so tomorrow when we come back, we'll have some more scripture to launch from. Our scripture again tonight is Proverbs 23:7. Last night we started with Ruth, the first chapter, verses 16 through 18. And so we'll continue to use our scriptures as we are focusing on confidence, because confidence is very important for everything that God is calling us to do in this time and in this dispensation. So please share out our video. Tell other people to join us as we are talking about confidence, and know that, God is really, really calling for us to do something powerful. After being in a pandemic, and we're still in it, but, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, but after being in quarantine for a year, you should have some really good ideas brewing in your heart. You should have some really good thoughts about what you want to do and where you want to go and which way you want to flow and how you want to show up for God and how you want to execute and implement your purpose. And I know that it takes confidence to do it. I know with all assurance that you have everything inside of you to do it, but it's those things that are in your bank of thoughts, in your bank of messaging. And that's the whole point about this series, to really help you to, some people need to just change their bank of thinking. Some people need to really course correct. And sometimes we just really need to have a new paradigm about what has happened to us, because we all have things that have happened to us. But we have to change the paradigm. Listen, it didn't kill you. It came and it made you stronger because you're still here. You have control over the narrative of what has happened to you, what has happened in your life, the things that have gone on. You have the power to change the narrative. And so, all right. And so as we close down tonight, I want to encourage you to join me tomorrow at 9 p.m. and encourage somebody else to join us. Listen, it took confidence for me to get on here to continue my series and have him with me. I wasn't sure if he would give me the time to do it, so he's giving me grace. He has given me grace, all right? And so thank you all so much for joining me tonight. Join me tomorrow. Encourage somebody else to join us at 9 p.m. tomorrow. All right? God bless you. Have a great night.